Right now on WHAS 11 News at noon, Election Day is here and local polling locations are packed with longer wait times. What the clerk's office is telling us about the early morning delays.
And speaking of Election Day, there is the planner forecast reaching a high temperature of 80 degrees today, one of the warmest election days on record in Louisville. I'm talking about some rainfall moving throughout the course of the night. The full forecast straight ahead.
The big day is finally here. It's Election Day across the U.S. Millions are waiting in lines at this moment to cast their ballots, joining more than 82 million who already voted early or by mail to decide who controls everything from the White House to Congress and state and local governments. Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Brooke Hash. It was a packed house at polling locations across Louisville as soon as the doors opened today. But delays with the e-poll books, which are used to help sign you in, led to lengthy wait times. Our Jim Stratman saw that firsthand after spending the morning at several locations from J-Town to Middletown and now the Potter's House in Phoenix Hill.
Those long lines started right as the polls opened around 6 a.m. In fact, we started getting calls to our newsroom around 6:30 this morning saying that things were backed up and it was taking voters a long time to be able to get inside the polls, like you're seeing out here at the Potter House gym.
We use an e-poll book, and that is for the election officers to verify that the voter is registered, and they typically scan the IDs, and today some of them are running slower.
Ashley Tinius with the Jefferson County Clerk's Office told us that the e-poll books needed to download a file containing the names of 113,000 people who voted early in Jefferson County to cross-reference with voters at the polls today. That's to make sure that nobody tries to vote twice. She asked for patience from people heading to the polls.
We have a lot more people using the e-poll books than they're probably ever used to, but it is going to get everyone through. There's no need for people to worry, and we did encourage people to bring their patience because there would be lines, and the lines will start moving a little bit smoother as those e-poll books warm up.
Rance Williams took that message to heart.
Be very patient, stay in the line, cast your vote.
Williams was waiting in this line out at Ascension Lutheran Church.
This is going to set the tone for the next generation, which is very important. My grandkids and great-grands, as well as my children. So I think we have a duty, a civic duty, to come out and do what we're all doing today. Vote our conscience and vote for the individual that thinks is going to help us drive America to the future.
Around 10:30 this morning, Mayor Craig Greenberg sent out a statement acknowledging the issue with the e-poll books. He said that issue was being worked on, being resolved. He also encouraged everyone to stay in line or return a little bit later on in the day to make sure their votes are counted. He did say he was going to be asking local election officials and the State Board of Elections to extend voting times to make sure that everyone was able to vote today. In Louisville, Jim Stratman, WHAS 11 on your side.
And we'll, of course, keep you updated on any of those major changes at the polling places. Right now, though, we are looking at great weather for Election Day. Nothing to keep you from going. It took me about 45 minutes this morning, Sam.
Same here, Brooke. Yeah, as well. It was a pretty routine process. Overall, I mean, 45 minutes, not bad when we put that in perspective. Hopefully, throughout the afternoon, the lines really aren't too bad out there to get out and vote. 77 right now in Ali International. We're going to be on our way today into the low 80s. I did uptick our forecast high today to 82. Throughout the course of the morning, I did have 80 in the forecast for the grand total this afternoon, but we're warming up quite a bit. In fact, a quick look out the door, 77 in Louisville, like I just mentioned, Campbellsville 76. Down to the south in Springfield, also hovering in 77, upwards of 15 to 20 degree temperatures above normal for this time of the year. So some great weather to get out and head to the polls to cast your vote. Of course, we are going to be continuing to see low 80s all the way through much of the mid-afternoon today, and temperatures still right around 2 o'clock, hovering to near 80 degrees. I'm actually talking in a few more minutes about some rainfall that's going to be moving into our area tonight. We're tracking a band of rain from states to our west, where 1 or 2 inches of rainfall is possible from this next band of rainfall. I'll be talking more about if any kind of thunderstorms are on that forecast as well.
All right, Sam, and all eyes are, of course, on the presidential race between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. That election will likely come down to 7 key swing states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, where the polls are razor close. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from the White House.
Today, millions of Americans are making their voices heard.
What brought me to the polls today is I think my vote counts.
Joining the tens of millions of people who cast their ballots early. Vice President Harris said she mailed her ballot in as running mate Tim Walz voted early in person. And today, former President Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance went to their polling places.
I think that we're going to win. I really do. But ultimately, the voters make that decision. We'll see what they think about this by the end of the day, hopefully.
Last night, Trump spoke to supporters in battleground Michigan, pointing to the economy and the southern border, saying the country is going in the wrong direction. He then drifted into the dark, personal attacks that have laced his message in recent weeks. His latest target, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the first woman to hold the position.
She's an evil, sick, crazy. It starts with a B, but I won't say it. I want to say it.
In the 107 days since launching her campaign, Harris focused on access to reproductive rights and tax incentives for the middle class. In her final rally in Pennsylvania, she leaned on her celebrity supporters to drive voters to the polls, from the Roots to Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and Oprah. Harris continued her closing strategy to not mention Trump by name. Her campaign says she's trying to end on a positive note, as she delivered remarks on top of the so-called Rocky Steps in Philadelphia.
And here at these famous steps, a tribute to those who start as the underdog and climb to victory.
Tonight, Trump's campaign will be set up in West Palm Beach, Harris in Washington, D.C., at her alma mater of Howard University.
That's what my focus is right now today, I must admit, which is making sure everybody knows the power of their voice through their vote.
And Dixville Notch, New Hampshire has a nearly 60-year tradition of voting in person at midnight, which all 6 of their registered voters did. The results? Trump 3, Harris 3, a tie. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, the White House.
This year, half of Kentucky's state Senate seats are up for grabs, along with all 100 House seats. Republicans hold a supermajority in the General Assembly, and Democrats are looking to change that. In House District 48, Republican incumbent and former Louisville Metro Councilman Ken Fleming is facing challenger Kate Farrow. Farrow's a retired operations manager at the Louisville Water Company and a first-time candidate for political office. Republicans are hoping to flip House District 38's seat. Democratic Representative Rachel Rourke faces Republican candidate Carrie Sanders McKeon. She is a Jefferson County Public Schools special education teacher. And over in Indiana, the big races include all 9 of the state's congressional House seats and the governor's seat. Republican Senator Mike Braun is facing former Republican superintendent turned Democrat Jennifer McCormick. Libertarian Donald Rainwater is also on the ballot. And since Braun stepped down, his U.S. Senate seat is already open. Republican Jim Banks and Democrat Valerie McRae both are hoping to secure it. Well, no ride to the polls? No problem. TARC is offering free rides to and from polling stations in Jefferson County today. That includes TARC 3 paratransit. We have the TARC schedule linked on the story on WHAS11.com. And Lyft is also offering a 50% off rides up to $10. Just use the code VOTE24 from now until 10 tonight. Uber is running a similar deal through midnight. Kentucky and Indiana are 2 of the 47 states with free ballot tracking services. It allows you to confirm if your ballots have been mailed, received, and counted. The envelopes have barcodes that can be tracked like packages. You can go to elect.ky.gov or indianavoters.in.gov to check your status. Hardin County is seeing massive growth in its population, and the same goes for its voters. It increased polling locations to 15, up from 4 from the 2020 election. The county clerk said they processed more than 4,000 votes a day last week during early voting and are expecting even larger turnouts today.
It was staggering. The lines did certainly get a little long, but I'm so pleased with how patient folks were. They were just excited to be there. When I would go out and talk to people while they were standing in line and I said, we're breaking records in Hardin County, they just erupted in applause. It was exciting.
Sheriff John Ward says deputies will assist with security there, and there will be extra personnel patrolling those polling locations. We've got you covered, from all the ballot issues to free rides and races to watch, in our voter guide on WHAS11.com, and that's where you can get the link to find your polling location. In other news, enrollment for the city's fall low-income home energy assistance program known as LIHEAP begins today. The program offers one-time subsidies to qualifying households to help with electricity costs. Eligibility is based on income, so households must fall at or below 150% of the federal poverty guidelines. You can apply online or over the phone until December 20th. For a list of what documents you'll need when applying, just click this story under the GMK tab on WHAS11.com.